Welcome to science class students. Today we are going to see Unit 22 Environmental Management. Let me give you introduction about this environment. What is environment? It means surrounding the area or the matter which is around us in a environment. So what are the components coming under this environment? There are two components. What are they? Biotic and abiotic components. Biotic means living components. Abiotic means non-living components. So we are living in an environment and many things are around us. So these two things are two types, biotic and abiotic. Biotic means all the living organisms such as microorganisms, plants and animals. If you take abiotic means what? Non-living organisms. It may be water, air, soil, temperature, pressure, etc. So, the environment is made of two components, biotic component and abiotic components. All biotic are living, all abiotic are non-living things. We are depending on both this living as well as non-living things. So it is our duty to take care of these things. Right? So we are going to see how to care our environment, what kind of resources are to be renewed or replenished. Everything we'll see in this lesson. Right? So, we saw the two kinds of components, that is biotic as well as abiotic components. It has to be managed. So, how this management is to be done? So, our environment is to be managed. The environmental management is to be done to ensure or secure our environment. What should be done for that? Maintenance. Proper maintenance should be done. So the components, already we saw the two kinds of components are necessary for our life, biotic and abiotic components. So these are to be maintained properly. These are to be taken proper care, and these are to be handled carefully and judicious use should be done. So these are the ways to manage our environment. And this environmental management deals with different aspects of environment, aspects in the sense different parts of the environment. Structure, function, quality and maintenance is to be done. And it includes conservation. Conservation means what? Preservation or protection. Okay, so this environmental management includes protection of living as well as non-living components. These are the example for living components and non-living components. Living components such as mushroom, fungi, plants, protista, animalia, that is animals, okay, and then microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, etc. All the microorganisms are all living organisms. As animals, plants and human being, all are coming under this biotic factor. Abiotic factors are these, that is air, temperature, light, water, minerals, etc. So all these are to be taken care, that is conserved. This is coming under this environmental management. How can this be done? Some of the examples: ban on hunting the animals. It means the animals should not be hunted. So proper rules or strict law should be followed against hunting the animals. And then planting more trees, and then rainwater harvesting can be done. Instead of wasting the rainwater, it can be saved. And to improve the quality of agricultural soil, so how can you improve the quality of the soil? By adding the manure, or else by doing the crop rotation. Crop rotation, you know, already I've learned in the lower classes. That means different types of crops can be cultivated in the same land, so that the soil can be enriched. Okay, and then to improve the quality of the air. That means what? If planting of a trees is done, the air can be purified. Pollution should be controlled. So air quality should be maintained. Regulation on bursting the crackers. So bursting crackers should be done in a regular manner, regular basis. And servicing of the vehicles. Vehicles should be properly serviced so that pollution can be controlled. These are some of the examples to conserve our environment. So what about the resources? Two kinds of resources are there: natural resources and artificial resources. Natural resources are naturally occurring in our surrounding. Some of the examples are what? Coal, petroleum products, right? Minerals. See, these kind of resources are naturally obtained with this. That is naturally obtained in our environment. That is to be protected. So the materials which are received and in a natural way are having certain value, and that valuable products are utilized by us, and that valuable products are satisfying our needs. For example, if you take petroleum products, it is obtained naturally and it has got a perfect value and we are utilizing it, and that is satisfying our needs. It's very very helpful. These petroleum products are really very helpful for us. Or else if you take coal, it is naturally occurring that using that coal we are getting the current, right? Thermal power plants are using this coal and providing us uh, current supply. We are utilizing the current as electricity is satisfying all our needs, right? So in that way, naturally occurring resources are there and it is satisfying all our needs. On the earth, diversified natural resources, that is varieties of natural resources are there. It is there for the survival of all forms of life, including man, even man. So natural resources are there, that is very helpful for our life. Everything that comes from the nature has some utility for man. So naturally whatever resources are occurring or having proper usage for the man. This utilization is possible based on the availability of the appropriate technology. So only with the perfect technology we are properly utilizing the resources which we are getting naturally, right? Say for example, we are getting wood from the tree, right? We are getting coal from the soil. So minerals like gold or iron, these are all obtained naturally, and that is used up by us by using proper technology. And next, let's see about the renewable resources. Renewable resources can be renewed simultaneously along with the exploitation. So renewable resources are there which can be replenished or renewed. For example, forest, crops, wildlife, groundwater, wind, solar energy, all these are renewable resources. For example, forests are naturally available. If you cut the forest, if you cut the trees in the forest, that can be afforestation can be done, that can be replantation can be done so that it can be renewed. Or crops, after cultivation plantation can be done. Likewise wildlife, groundwater, wind, solar energy, all these are renewable resources. This can be maintained, this can maintain themselves by natural recycling. So recycling process can be done naturally and resources can be renewed. So this can be replenished by proper management. So for the renewable resources, if the renewable resources has to be replenished, that should be done by proper management. For example, you see water cycle. Water cycle, surface water is evaporated and that condenses and falls down as a rainfall. So this is a way renewable. how the water is renewed by the rainfall. So water is taken up and again it is coming down as a rainfall. If you consider, if you take the rainwater can be collected back. Instead of wasting the rainwater, rainwater harvesting can be done. This is a kind of proper management. We are doing a proper management and collecting the rainwater and using the rainwater again. This is a kind of replenishing that is done with the help of proper management. And next, about the non-renewable resources. So renewable resources we saw, say example crops, water or else forest, all these are renewable resources. There are some resources which cannot be renewed, which cannot be recycled or replaced easily. That means these kind of resources cannot be got back. Once it is used means again it cannot be received back. So we can get exhausted. That means it come to an end. So for example, coal is there. We are getting coal from the underground and that coal is used up means again we cannot get back the coal. Petroleum products we are getting, we are utilizing it, but it takes a long period of time for replenishing. That means it is non-renewable. After a certain period of time it get exhausted due to unlimited and continuous usage. So we are using it in an unlimited way and continuously we are using it, so these kind of resources cannot be renewed. Example, coal and petroleum products. Example, see here, mineral ores, coal, petroleum, etc. All these are non-renewable resources. And not only that, population is going on increasing, right? So we are utilizing the renewable as well as non-renewable resources in a large quantity. Why? The reason is too much of population. So since the population is going on increasing, need of the man is also increasing. So the resources are in demand. Increased demand of resources are in process nowadays. So, yeah, not only that, our scientific as well as technological advancement is there. So, even though the population is increasing, technologically, scientifically, we are in an advanced form. And then, due to the increase in the population, we are using the resources in a large quantity. That's why the large scale of utilization of natural resources is going on. So we are utilizing the natural resources in a large scale. So social as well as economic development of the country is necessary. So for conserving all the natural resources, the social as well as economic development of our country is necessary. For what? To conserve our environment, to manage our environment, right? Need for conservation of resources or environmental management. Since we are using these resources in a large scale, it's very necessary to conserve the resources, to protect the resources. That is what we say it as environmental management. These resources what we are using will last longer. This is fulfilling the needs of the present as well as future generation. Why this conservation is to be done? It has to be available. The resources has to be available for a long period of time and it has to fulfill the needs of the present generation as well as the future generation. So that conservation is necessary for the uniform distribution of resources to everybody. Not only that, damaging the environment is in a limited way. That is minimum damage to our environment. We should not damage our environment in a large scale. Only in a limited quantity it can be done. So these are all possible only if the conservation is done. That is, need for the conservation is done. These all can be done. Next, conservation and judicious use of the resources. How this conservation is done? That is, proper utilization and management is to be done. Properly we have to use the resources and also management of the usage should be done of nature as well as the resources. So proper utilization and management should be done for the nature as well as the resources. The natural resources are conserved for their biological, economical, and recreational values. So, biologically, the resources are important. Natural resources are biologically important. Economically means what? It is gaining the amount for us, right? We are getting the natural resources, and it is utilized in a large scale, so it is bringing good sum of amount to our country. And also recreational values. Recreational means a kind of recreation. So recreation in a sense, we go to the park, right? What to do? See, recreation means a kind of relaxation is done with the help of this resources, natural resources. And then excessive and unplanned, that is use of resources should be done in a proper way. That is imbalance in the environment. That is, if the resources are used in excessive manner, unplanned way, if the resources are used up, it leads to the imbalance in the environment. So imbalance in the sense, our environmental balance will not be proper, it becomes imbalance. For example, you take this tree, the forest as well as trees are very helpful to us. How, in what way? It is helping the birds, it's giving shelter for the birds, it is bringing rainfall to us, it is giving fresh air, fresh amount of oxygen is supplied with the help of the plants. So if the plants or the trees are cut in a large quantity, it is a kind of unplanning, not planning properly. If the trees are cut continuously, proper afforestation should be done. If two trees are cut, one tree has to be planted. If such a way, if the resources are used, it will be in a balanced manner. If cutting alone done, no plantation is done, means what happens? That leads to the imbalance in the nature, imbalance in the environment, right? Not only that, coal or minerals or wood, if it is continuously used up and it is not replenished, means that leads to the imbalance in the environment. So proper planning should be there while using the resources. Next, judicious balance should be done. That is, judicious balance means if the exploitation of the resources are done, replenishment is to be done. So, if the trees are cut, again the plantation should be done. Or if the water is continuously used up, the kind of rainwater harvesting should be done. Such a way, replenishment can be done. And the next, build a sustainable world which lasts for a long period. That is, it can manage and use of the resources should be done very carefully. So to build a good world, what should be done? Usage of the resources should be done, and that usage should be done very carefully. For what purpose? To preserve for the future generation. So we are utilizing whatever may be, that is wood or water or fresh air, all that we are using now at present. If it is used up carefully, it can be preserved or saved for our future generations. To sustain continuous use of the resources, utilize energy efficiently. So if the resources are to be used continuously for a long period, what should be done? Efficiently energy should be used up. Utilize the energy efficiently in a limited way. Only if it is necessary you should use. You should not waste the resources. Avoid the wastage of water. Usage of plastics should be completely avoided, and non-biodegradable materials should be avoided. So only biodegradable materials can be used. For example, you can avoid the plastic bags and you can use the cloth bags. Instead of going to the nearby places in the motorbike or car, a cycle can be used up. In such a way, you can save the energy, you can save the resources for the future. And also, proper care should be taken for our environment. So, to save our environment, to preserve our environment, it is in our hands. We are going to save our environment. We are going to use it properly, as well as we are going to utilize the energy for our own future generations. Right? And next, let's see about the forest. Forest is really very, very important for us. So, forest, what are the importance of forest? Come on, think about the forest. Forest are naturally helping the wild animals. It is giving shelter for the wild animals. We are getting wood, we are getting fresh air, we are getting rainfall. In such a way, forests are really very helpful for us. It is an important component of our environment. So, forest is really very important component for our environment. They are dominated by microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, and then flowering plants, shrubs, climbers, dense forest. All these are coming under that. They provide vast habitat for the wild animals, right? Wild animals are getting shelter under this forest only. Forests are contributing to the economic development. We are gaining large sum of amount only with the help of this forest. And the forests are vital for the human life. It is a source for the wide range of renewable natural resources. So natural resources are widely, in a wide range, it is helpful for the human life. We are getting it from the forest. They provide wood, food, fodder in the sense food for the cattle, right? And then fiber as well as medicine are all got with the help of the forest. So forest is really helpful for us. They act as a carbon sink. We are getting carbon, that is carbon, for example, petroleum products or coal, all these are carbon sink. Okay, so they act as a carbon sink, and it lowers the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It already I told you, this forest is helping us to get the fresh air. By what means? It is taking the carbon dioxide for itself and releasing out good oxygen for us. And then it regulate the climatic condition. Normal climatic condition is maintained with the help of the forest. This forest is increasing the rainfall. It is reducing the global warming. By what means? It is taking up carbon dioxide. For the process of photosynthesis, the plants are absorbing the carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen. In that way, our global warming is reduced. Since it is absorbing the carbon dioxide, our warmth, that's global warming, is reduced, and that's why it is preventing the natural hazards like flood and landslides. So flood as well as landslides are controlled by the forest. And the forest is protecting the wildlife and also act as a catchment for the water conservation. So it act as a catchment. That means what? All the many trees are there if in the forest, and it absorbs the water, so that our groundwater is replenished. Groundwater level is maintained only with the help of the forest. They also play a vital role in maintaining the ecological balance. Ecological means money, right? Proper, our country is maintained in ecologically with the help of this forest. And next, deforestation and its effects. Already we saw how forest is helpful to us. It's really very, very helpful to us in many ways. But deforestation is done for various reasons. So deforestation means cutting of the trees. And due to the cutting of trees, what are all happening? The deforestation is a destruction of large area of forest. Two mark question. What is deforestation? Destruction of large area of forest. This happens for many reasons like agriculture, intensive agriculture, urbanization, construction of dams, then roads, buildings, industries, hydroelectric projects, that is power stations, forest fire, construction of mountain and forest roads. For doing all these purposes, we cut the trees. So sad, no? Cutting the trees for various reasons. We may have many reasons, but is it good to cut the trees? No, not at all. So it's a threat for economy, quality of life, future of the environment. So it is bringing a danger to our life, especially life, then our economy as well as future environment. So India is losing about 1.5 million hectares, that means 15,000 kilometers square of forest cover every year. Chennai 426 kilometers square. In such a way we are losing a large hectares due to the deforestation. Due to the deforestation, what's happening? What are the effects behind it? So deforestation gives rise to ecological problems like flood, drought. Drought means a bare land without water, right? Then soil erosion, loss of wildlife, extinction of species. Extinction of species means a kind of wild animals getting extincted, that is no more. Then imbalance of the biochemical cycles, that means cycling of substances is a pathway by which chemical substances moves through the biotic and abiotic components of the earth. So that is in a biochemical cycle. There is a relationship between biotic as well as abiotic component. So that is not balanced. So that becomes imbalance, and alteration of climatic conditions and desertification. So climatic conditions are completely changing. That means a heavy rainfall, which leads to flood or else drought. So this is what we say it is a alteration in the climatic condition, that is imbalance in the nature. So alteration of climatic conditions as well as desertification. Desertification means the land is completely becoming desert area. Greenish area is completely becoming desert. So these are all possible due to the deforestation. So this should not, deforestation should not be done. So what can be done to protect our forest? That is conservation of forest. India has an area for about 752.3 lakh hectare classified as reserved forest. So these are all reserved forest. 752.3 lakh hectare and 215.1 lakh hectare as a protected forest. The important measure taken for conserving the forest is what? Afforestation. That means planting the trees. Activities for the afforestation program is Van Mahotsav. So what's the afforestation program? Van Mahotsav. Van Mahotsav means the planting of trees. Van Mahotsav, which include planting and protecting the trees with multiple uses with the help of restoration of green cover. That means afforestation is the only way to control the deforestation. Okay, now no other go. If plant is to be cut, if there is a necessary tree can be cut. If one tree is cut, two trees is to be planted again. So if such a strict rule is followed, our forest can be conserved. Social forestry program. This should be undertaken on a large scale with active participation of the public. So the forestry program is what? Conserving the forest or planting the trees. This should be undertaken on a large scale with active participation. Very important. Who has to take participate? Who has to participate? Public. It's we. Utilization of common land to produce firewood, fodder and timber for the benefit of the rural community. So, what kind of land can be utilized means a common land. For what purpose? To produce the firewood, fodder or timber, for whatever. These are all required by us, right? For that common land can be used. For what purpose? Especially for the rural community. This relieves the pressure on existing forest and to safeguard the future of the tribals. So this relieves some kind of pressure which is existed on the forest and to safeguard the future of the tribals. Forest conservation laws has to be adapted, that is adapting stringent laws. Stringent means severe or strict laws and policies are a kind of plan to conserve and protect the forest. So what's the final solution for conserving the forest? Stringent law should be followed, severe strict laws as well as proper planning should be done to protect the forest. They are through the Natural Forest Policy Act, which was brought up in 1952 and 1988, and Forest Conservation Act in the year of 1980. So these acts are all there to conserve the forest. It should be followed in a stringent manner. So in today's class we have discussed well about our environment. Our environment is completely made up of natural resources. The natural resources are to be protected in a good manner. Who has to do this? We have to do. And not only that, forest, how far this forest is very important to us, and how it is to be protected, how deforestation can be done, how can the forest can be conserved. All this we discussed in today's class. So go through your textbook, understand and learn, children. In the next class, I'll teach you about the wildlife and how the wildlife is to be conserved. Thank you.